It is your Classic Metal Show. Right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. I'm really prepared. That song was so fucking long, I didn't think it had an ending, so I thought I was just going to coast for all 6 hours.
I should have told you when it ended. I was like, Mike's on. I knew exactly when it was ending. You're just like fucking around.
Well, you're the only one that would know.
Exactly.
That, of course, was you.
Yeah, me, back in 1999.
Man, oh man, how different you sound now.
Not really. I mean, if I do like the heavy vocals, it sounds pretty similar actually.
Yeah.
But like I was saying off the air, I love that record. But man, it's like we would write a cool riff, be like we should play that 8 times, and then do it again later in the song 8 times. Like no, you should not.
No.
Reunion time.
Well, anyway, it is an off show, I guess. I think we're calling these shows now an off show since we're not allowed to say that they're good because a certain other host doesn't ever acknowledge them as good.
God forbid we have a good segment that he's not involved in.
Yeah, God forbid. God forbid we bring up Rhonda. That was okay. The
Rhonda segment.
That was all right if you're into that shit, but I don't know. It was kind of long.
Yeah, because it was awesome.
Yeah, because we couldn't stop laughing. That's why it was long.
Oh, that segment. We were talking off air. That segment still brings tears to my eyes. It's so funny.
So good. But tonight we are going to try again, see what we come up with. I have no idea what we're going to get other than me having a buzz. That's it. And I don't even have one yet. I started drinking way late into the process here, but
Second one.
We'll work on that for you.
Yeah, I figured. But in the studio with me, it's me, Chris Aiken, of course, and we have Jon Drake of the hatred that you all have for Jon Drake.
Yes, the hatred, and of the Nerf Herder Council.
Yeah, and then we have
self-plug
from Soundcast. We have the mighty Joe Kleon.
Hello.
And then of horrendously bad musical choices, we have Jim Demon Bartek with us.
Better known as Jackal 1.
Jackal 1,
Demon, shitty music fan.
Nostradamus.
Horrible music. But we are going to just kind of wing it tonight. We're going to see what happens. I do have a list of topics. I'm told that John has at least one topic to bring. I don't know if
I found a couple things. So
I have some wacky stuff for the wee hours of the morning.
All right.
I got shit.
You have Yingling beer.
Yes.
Jim's like, when do we start talking about Richie Blackmore, man? What the fuck?
Jim's waiting for the actual music conversation.
Right.
What the fuck? If it doesn't have Candace Knight, it's not good. But now we are just going to fuck around a little bit tonight. God knows where it's going to go. Neely, of course, he is in Las Vegas. He's been sending me pictures from his hotel room all day long, and not the kind of pictures I like to see from a hotel room.
I was just going to ask if they were nudies.
I'd like to see him plowing his chick. I'm not going to lie. His chick is hot. I'd like to see her bent over with Neely giving that fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter scowl. I would love to just kind of look in on that.
Dog the Bounty Hunter scowl.
Can't you just see him with those fucking zip ties? Have her zip tied behind her back.
Oh, please.
You know, if you sent you that picture, she'd have a fucking CMS T-shirt on too.
That'd be great.
It'd be a total promo shot.
Neely with the fucking he's wearing nothing but one of those utility belts with mace and those.
What if she dominates him though? What if it's the opposite?
Well,
like we just don't know.
Maybe he starts with the utility belt, but then she takes it over.
He takes pictures of her, of like looking at like he's like just dominating the shit out of her. Then the camera gets turned off, and he just turns into her bitch like Sebastian Bach.
She's spraying mace in his pee hole and shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say he comes too early. She maces him. Do it again.
Beating him with a nightstick.
Do it again, asshole. And not in the asshole. Oh man,
off to a great start.
Yeah, but he is out there. He's out in Las Vegas tonight. He may call, he may not call. If it was me, I wouldn't call.
He always calls.
I know
on the off shows.
He loves the show.
Fuck, I thought he was at a docking show. What I know.
Well, there's got to be some dock and tie-in somewhere there. Maybe Mick Brown is playing a fucking solo gig in Vegas or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why he's out there, but whatever. I guess he's taking his girl out there for her birthday. So hey, more power to him.
Good for him.
Making it rain, making the girl see money, so that so that the fucking mid spot of her pants gets all moist.
There you go.
Oh, you have money, sweetheart. You have money.
Oh my God.
But anyway, that's where he is. But we're not there.
No.
Instead, you get two fat guys and Jim and Joe.
I'm getting less fat now. Come on, it's been 3 weeks.
Gaining
I'm down
weight since I quit smoking.
Didn't you have a bet on that diet last year?
Yeah, both of us lost miserably, but I lost more miserably.
I remember that.
Yeah, fuck it.
It's too bad that we didn't bet now because I'm actually doing something about it. It was funny. Like, Aiken a couple weeks ago was over our place, and the night after he did the show, and I had started like doing my workout, and I'm eating right and everything. I'm like, I'm just sick of being a fat fuck, and they're on the air. And Neely's he's like, so how's that diet of John's going? And Aiken's like, he fucking didn't even start. And I'm like, fuck you, man. You damn sure know I did. You were just at my house last night. I barely had anything to drink with you because of that. Like, you know that.
Meanwhile, I have my kids visiting Steinway looking for coffins, so.
Steinway, nice.
Whatever. Some people worry about it, other people don't. I just couldn't give a fuck. At this point, whatever. You got to die of something. Wouldn't that be in my head, I have this awful thought of, what if I bust my ass for like 2 fucking years and lose like 200 fucking pounds and get all in shape and then have a fucking stroke or something?
Something weird will happen and you'll die of malnutrition.
No, it won't.
Yeah. He gets like scurvy, some old pirate disease.
I don't think it would be death, though. I think it would be something even worse. I think it would be like I get all in shape, I'm all happy, and then I'm like, I can't fucking talk anymore.
You'll die out in the park and 2 fat smokers will find the body.
Yeah, exactly. Or 2 gay guys and they'll just rape my dead corpse. They'll wrap their fucking dicks with the fucking loose skin and just fucking have at it.
See, that's what you need to do before you die. If you get diagnosed with something, you need to go on my 600-pound life show and try and like do that whole thing where you're supposed to lose weight and just absolutely get the surgery and then just fuck around and just make it like an abject disaster.
Dude, I wonder if I lost like 200 pounds, I wonder if they'd let me keep some of that skin.
Make some lamps and shit, dude.
I would love to.
Buffalo Bill over here.
A laptop case.
Dude, or
get on your screen in the back there.
Get a hard copy of one of my books and wrap it with it. And sell it as a collectible. Comes free with a case of Chris Aiken's soap.
Just sell vials that has your actual flesh in it. Oh, God.
Jesus, they'll take the fat off of me and make fucking enough soap to fill a Walmart.
Just dump your body off in Amish country. They'll sustain forever.
See, that's always this is a dumb fat guy thing that you guys probably can't relate to, and maybe it's just me having the fucked up brain that I do. But if we were to all of a sudden get taken over almost like Nazi style, like where they like put you in like one of those fucking work camps or something, I would be like the most tortured of everybody because I would outlast everybody because I would have so much more time.
They would just kill your ass and feast on you for months.
Exactly.
Yeah,
hopefully. I would hope
Yeah.
so. But I see those guys that are real skinny and I'm like, holy fuck, I would be working my ass off for a good 2 years before I got to that point.
You would never get to that point.
They'd be trying to slim me down just to get in the doors of the shower.
They drive you in a rail car. You take up an entire rail car.
Yeah. Listen, fatty, don't stick your ass on the Zyklon hole. We got people to kill here.
You'd be a hero. They go to gas everybody, and you're like, hold on, I got this. You back your fat ass up, and it just blocks it.
Hold on, I'm going to catch it all.
Contractor to expand the gas chamber.
I'm going to catch it all in my belly button, you fucks.
They open the hole the size of like a fucking closet door. Like, try and plug this one up, fat ass.
Yeah, come on. Okay. Deal. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we're clearly off and running.
I know.
So it's been a busy week for the Classic Metal Show. a busy news week, apparently for me.
Yeah.
I've the Steven Adler stuff, which I'm sure most people saw this week.
Oh yeah.
And I do want to address that real quick because there's a lot of misinformation getting put out there, mostly by the fans. Oh, I'm burping and shit. I'm already going. It's like I don't want to do Howard Stern 1994.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Right.
No, but in all seriousness, it's not a secret that I did interview Steven Adler on whatever day it was, Thursday, I think, or Wednesday, whatever day it was, and it did not go well. To say the least, it did not go well. And there's been a lot of people. I posted it anyway, which probably not my smartest thing that I've ever done, but it's me, and I don't necessarily hide anything. So, and the weird thing was the reason I posted it was because I did the interview itself, because I thought, well, it's Adler and it's Guns N' Roses, and I'm always trying to try new shit. I was like, well, I'll just go YouTube Live and see how it goes and how it looks and how it sounds. You know, I figured Adler's a good one to do that with because he's a
Train wreck.
well, he is a train wreck, but but I mean, he's a big enough name to where I would get enough listeners or viewers or whatever that if they watched it and the video was all choppy or something, I would get a lot of feedback, which is what I was looking for. Mm-hmm. And so I did it. I did the interview, and the way it worked out was I was supposed to call Adler, and I called and I called and I called. It was a 20-minute spot, and I kept calling until we were like maybe 10 minutes away from the end time, you know, because it's 20 minutes, and I just kept calling every couple minutes thinking, okay, he must be going over on his first interview, you know, whatever. So I finally get him. And he was, as anybody that listened to it heard, he was an absolute disaster. He was slurring all over the place, and he was like not focused, and he was
Yeah, but doesn't he kind of sound like that now? Anyhow,
he does.
Since didn't he have a stroke?
Yeah, he had
something?
a stroke.
Yeah,
but
he supposedly sober now.
Supposedly sober now. They say that's what they say.
The first 10 minutes, you
continue
didn't
this
talk
story,
to
we'll
him,
find
he was
out.
heating up a spoon.
He may. I don't know what he was doing. But I do know this, that he did 7 minutes and then he dumped out.
Yep.
And I mean, I tried, and you can hear it. I actually said, hey, let me ask you one or two more questions. Nope, gotta go. Gotta take a shower. What do you say? I gotta take a shower.
Yeah, because didn't he?
He had said somewhere to go.
Appointment or something.
Yeah.
He said he had to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But the problem was that he had a full interview docket scheduled. I was number 2 of 10 on an interview jaunt or whatever they call that, an interview day,
right,
where they line you up and you just do phone calls back to back to back to back to back. And I was the second one in. Well, as soon as I hung up the phone, I get this email from the publicist saying all Steven's interviews for the week are canceled. And I was like, okay,
must have overdosed.
Well, what
He's on a bender.
what I'm going to guess happened is that he missed the first one, and then the publicist couldn't get a hold of him, and so they went to cancel everything, and I just happened to catch him, or he just got sick of his fucking phone ringing, and he answered.
Yeah.
But and it was what it was. I mean, it was not good. It was.
What was the occasion of the interview? I think I missed whatever he was. What was he promoting?
The ride for Ronnie.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
The Dio cancer thing. But he was so out there. He's like, yeah, I'm playing in some park, and what's the name of the park? And
He's all they could get. I mean, for Ronnie James Dio, they couldn't get better people than him.
well, there's still a lot of people that think he's a name, man.
Yeah.
You know, after all, he's still practicing
But
appetite.
would you
for
want
Destruction.
him on a charity event if you were a
Nice.
promoter? Would you want that train wreck at your charity event?
I sure don't know that I'd want him repping it.
No, I wouldn't want him there. I wouldn't want him anywhere near it.
Well, I wouldn't mind him being there. I would definitely mind him being the public face of promoting it.
Probably would give somebody else the 12 interview
Yeah.
junket, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want him being the public stroke face of the fucking campaign.
Public
no.
stroke face.
I don't want that. But he just he just wasn't with it for whatever reason. And I don't know if he was doing anything or he wasn't doing it. I have no idea. I know this. I know the interview was very weird. I know him talking about, how he's looking forward to getting a finger up his ass was weird.
Yeah, I had no idea where he was going with that.
Maybe that's the doctor's appointment he was talking about.
Yeah,
well, after the second time, it gets. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, and then he's talking about, there's going to be midgets and rides, and I didn't know if that
fun
was
for the whole family.
I didn't know if that was at the Ride for Ronnie or at the doctor's office.
That's the receptionist at the doctor's office.
I mean,
he's so broke he has to have his doctor's appointments at carnivals.
Yeah,
the proctologist is the only one that can make him come.
Yeah, right.
Come here, bozo, and stick your finger up my ass.
His proctologist with Parkinson's. He loves the guy.
That's so bad.
But in any event, what is going around now on YouTube and on our podcast comments and whatever, a bunch of people are saying that they think that Adler just fucked me or us because of the shit that I said, last week or the week before,
the
whatever
week before,
it was.
yeah.
He's so mentally gone. Does he even remember?
Well, and that's my point.
No.
Did he even hear it?
Yeah, that's my point. That's funny.
Phil Lewis does it again.
That's really funny. But no, that's I don't think that. I honestly, I mean, I don't even. First of all, I don't think we were that mean to Steven last week. I mean, we joked around, but it was just joking around about him saying. The joke was that he said that he still practices Appetite for Destruction every day. So the jokes I was making was, time to get up, but I better go practice. Better sit down and do some Mr. Brownstone before I get.
Right.
It wasn't like it was any kind of real hardcore mean. It was just silly jokes, and there's no way did he do that. And look, Steven Adler doesn't know who the fuck I am.
Well, if he was pissed at you, he just wouldn't have even talked to you.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He'd have seen the name of the show and said, nope.
Exactly.
Not doing that. So I just wanted to put that out there right up front, that I do not think that is what happened. It was
once.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the whole thing is for once, I don't think the artist is pissed. Unlike the other drummer that I was talking to this week, which would be Bobby Blotzer.
Yeah, where's that interview?
It's coming. I'll tell you where this whole thing is, and then we'll leave this alone because we are not going hair bands tonight. Okay. I'm not playing any hair metal, and anybody that wants to hear fucking hair metal, see ya.
Well, what time is Don Dokken calling in though? Because we have to have the weekly Don Dokken interview, right?
Here we go. Here's my Don Dokken interview. We're playing a casino. Perfect 7. You'll shit it all out. We're done. There's your Don Dokken interview.
Nice.
We're done with Dokken for the night.
Fuck Perfect 7.
I ain't tried it.
Yeah, it works.
Oh, it didn't work
Worked
for me. It did the opposite for me.
I ain't tried.
Holy shit, man.
But anyway, with Blotzer.
Yeah.
So I get an email this week from Blotzer. And it's definitely from Blotzer because I've gotten emails in the past from Blotzer. And the email is the same as it was, a year and a half ago. Whenever we had Jason Green on, the old manager.
Yeah.
And the email was, you guys are a bunch of haters. You guys are a bunch of liars. You don't know the business. You don't know what we did. We made $1 million on that tour. You guys are saying we didn't make any money. Bop, 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 bop.
Didn't you post something about that?
I don't think about his tour because we didn't know for sure what the numbers were. What we talked about on the show was the difference between the financial difference between it being the Bobby Blotzer's Ratt experience and Ratt.
Right.
That's what we talked about is the difference in why he was doing it.
Okay.
And I invited Bobby. He was all pissed off. A year ago? Whenever we did that.
You've invited him a few times. You've said that.
Yeah, and I've said it on the show, and that's one thing. But I've also emailed him and left him messages, calls, and said, "Dude, if you want to call."
Right.
And, and for whatever reason now he heard something else. And I don't even know that we were talking about him recently. Honestly,
it's been a while.
It's been a while. I don't know why this came up all of a sudden. He said his email said, well, I just happened to be looking up John Lennon videos and I came across your video. I'm like, no, you didn't. Because we've never talked about John Lennon.
Right.
You're a related video for John Lennon.
My related video of John Lennon is Bobby Blotzer. I don't think so. I think you were like, let me look up my name. Oh, here's one. Oh, these fucking guys again. Which is fine. I mean, whatever.
Call them out. You pussy, call in, you motherfucker, if you got something to say.
And I've been back and forth with him this week. I've gone back and forth. We've sent emails back. I think there's 10 or 11 emails back and forth. He is going to come on the show.
Cool.
Obviously, Neely's not here this week. We're not live next week. So it'll probably be in 3 weeks, which pisses me off to no end that we're not doing it tonight. But I didn't want to do it myself because, I told John this earlier. I didn't think it would be fair to you guys, have you guys come all the way out here. And then if he wants to ramble for 2 fucking hours, that's bullshit.
Oh, I would have done my best to piss him off.
I just like to hear his fucking side. I don't give a shit either way.
Well, I know, but my point was I didn't want to take this show.
Right.
The reality is when it comes, as much as I am a Ratt fan and of hair metal bands, Ratt's probably my favorite band and all, whatever with that shit. The truth of the matter is that when it comes to Ratt, it's kind of like Dokken. That's a Neely thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely, he is really good friends with Stephen Pearcy. He's, Ratt is a Neely thing. So Neely should be involved in that interview, I think.
Right.
Otherwise I would have just done it. Honestly, I would have just recorded it and done it. But that's where that is at. So it has been a somewhat hectic.
Yeah, a little bit.
Somewhat, and it always happens that way. It's like, it's like Neely left for vacation on Wednesday afternoon, and Wednesday night I get the message from Blotzer.
Oh,
and I'm like,
course.
are you fucking kidding me?
Of course.
And I text him and I'm like, what do you want to do? And he's like, do it. Neely. He's like, do what you want. He's good with whatever I do with it. But then it's like, all right, now it's all in my court. And it's like, well, the only way I could do this is wrong. No matter what I choose to do, it's not going to be right.
I told you should have done it tonight if you wanted to call in because, as much as Neely wouldn't be a part of it and you said you didn't want us to have to sit there and listen to you, it's like that's an opportunity that you can't pass up. If you have to wait too long and all of a sudden Blotz gets cold feet and decides not to do it, but you missed out on a fucking great interview.
How much longer is he going to stay relevant?
Well,
it's a good point.
I think that ended 3 years ago, but that ended before the Bobby Blotzer's Ratt experience in my mind. But but we will get it done. I don't think he's going to. I don't think the fact that he has called and emailed and called again and drunk called and everything else, it's very clear in my mind that we're under his skin.
And he has a lot going on.
Yeah, well, he doesn't, but if this lawsuit, which he swears is going to break his way, if it does break his way, well, then he'll get his fake lineup together and call it Ratt and go tour.
Well, we've been, you guys have had this shit going on. You've talked to Pearcy and stuff over the year. It's like he's had his opportunity. Well, come on and do it.
Well,
you guys have invited him a zillion times.
Here's where I think he has not been willing to do that so far. He told me flat out that one of the things he doesn't like is me personally, the way I represent him. He said he hates that I call him fucking Blotzer. That's what he doesn't like that.
That is such a minor thing, man.
I know, but in his world, I'm respectful to Steven, I'm respectful to Warren, I'm respectful to Juan, and he's fucking Blotzer.
Well, he doesn't come on and give you the fucking chance.
And again, and that's what I told him back. I said, dude, if you want to convince me of something, convince me of it. Call in. And I told him, I said, I'll give you as much time as you want. We got 6 fucking hours.
Yep.
If you need 6 hours to tell your story, tell your fucking story. I'm not going to, but I did tell him, I said, I know the interviews that you've done. I know you went on Trunk. I know you went on Mitch LaFon. I'm not going to throw you fucking beach balls to hit with a goddamn club. Yeah. I'm going to ask you hard questions. I'm a fan of the band.
Right.
And I'm going to ask you the questions that I think fans of the band want to know. Mm-hmm. And if that's not sucking your dick because I saw your video in 1985, well, tough shit. That's not what I do.
No. I can only imagine how pathetic the Eddie Trunk interview was.
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't exactly...
It's like the Wolf Blitzer of rock.
I didn't hear it.
Nice. The Wolf Blitzer
hey,
of rock.
Bobby, you got a new band together. What's that like? Trunk's not that bad. He actually does decent interviews.
Yeah.
I shouldn't shit on him totally. He does decent interviews.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely soft. You're never going to get something that's like, dude, what about when you fucked that stripper?
Well, how's it decent if it's soft? If he doesn't ask any hardball questions at all or get any decent issues and it's just softball shit, how is that decent?
Because most music fans are such hardcore fans of their bands that they don't want to hear that. You know,
you don't want the reality of.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Whitesnake, you get offended when a guy like me says, "Dude, what's wrong with your voice?"
Yeah,
that the fans of whenever Whitesnake, we have a segment out there online somewhere about Jon Sykes, and I said, while Jon is a great player, he's not this fucking overlord guitar player. Right. He's a good player.
Yeah.
That was a year and a half ago, and I get comments every week about what a cocksucker I am, and I don't know shit about music, and because Jon Sykes is the lord of the guitarists.
It goes back to the David Lee Roth argument that we always have. All these Van Halen fans that are all about, Sammy sucks and Dave rules. And look, Dave still has it on these most recent tours without listening. And and I'm the biggest Van Halen fan anybody will ever meet.
Right.
And Dave is fucking god awful. It's like it's okay to admit that the guys that you love their music and you're fans of them personally, whatever. It's okay to admit when they lose a step or 17. Like you're not ripping them. It's just the truth.
Yeah. Anybody that listens to that last live album and says that it's good is completely being full of shit.
Dude, I can't even believe they put it. It's so funny because like so many people on the boards were like, "Oh, that we finally got like the David Lee Roth live album. He's like nailing it. Like this is what we always waited for." I'm like, "You waited to hear David Lee Roth sound like an absolute piece of shit? Like that's terrible."
How does the band sit in a room and listen to the final mix of that and go, "That's okay, let's print it"?
Money.
I would bet you
fucking money.
I would bet you anything with that Van Halen thing that was part of the contract to put it out.
Wow.
I would.
Couldn't you manipulate that in Pro Tools or something to make it sound a little better than did?
Well, but that's not how they recorded it. They literally recorded it to like a digital recorder. Like they had a whole bunch of shows, and they handed it to Roth and said, "Pick which show you think is best," and he picked Tokyo.
And I don't know.
And how about that? That was what he thought was his best.
I want to hear the worst one.
Oh Jesus!
Well, and here's another thought with this too. And I don't know this to be true. This is me just totally guessing, and you guys could tell me I'm full of shit. But the fact that there's no DVD with it, in my mind, means that somebody looked at the video and was like, there's no way we can fix this.
Oh, yeah.
So they didn't even try.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because when John and I went and saw it at Rock USA in Wisconsin, we saw the tour. They had cameras.
Yeah.
They had cameras everywhere.
Yep.
So they had video, at least at that show. And, I mean, that was a festival. So that wasn't set up like their own show where they would have even more, cameras and whatnot. So my hunch is that it was so bad that they couldn't put a video out.
He's just horrible. He used to be so dynamic on stage, and now he's just the worst.
Well, he buys into his own hype, is what it is. He reads all the internet comments of the people that hate Sammy Hagar, and he basically says, well, the fans are going to eat whatever shit sandwich I give them, and he doesn't give a fuck. And the proof of it was when I saw them in Cleveland, I think it was like 2015.
Right.
the first like third of the show, he was actually trying to sing.
Right.
He wasn't moving as much. He was actually singing. I'm like, oh, someone's reading his internet comments.
Was that at Blossom?
And yeah, and
I photographed that.
He actually you photograph all the big shows, man, because you're the fucking man. but he actually sounded pretty reasonable. Even Steph, like who she basically just sat through those shows because of my love for Eddie Van Halen. She went. He actually is. I can actually tolerate him tonight. And then he started moving around, and then he was just talking. You could tell that if he doesn't stand there and just fucking sing, he's fucked because and it's obvious he doesn't care.
Right.
He had this little wooden square on the stage.
Yeah, that's so he could do his dance moves.
Yeah, so he could do his dance moves and slide around on it. And we were down there in the pit way before the show started because we were. I was with the media photographers, and some guy spent at least 20 minutes, like with micro cleaning every inch of that little thing, like with a toothbrush, so he could do his little dance moves.
Yeah, no, he's
my question is, where the fuck is the live album or VHS from 1982 or 84?
See,
dude, the Oakland footage that everyone talks about. They've got like 3 songs on YouTube that of them on the Fair Warning tour that are fucking amazing.
I don't know.
And
that's what I mean.
No, dude, those are really, really good. It's like Unchained, hear about it later, and I forget what the other one is, but holy fuck are they good.
They should have put something out fucking back then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw them on 84 tour, and I was like,
But they had lost it by then, though. I mean, that was when they were so up their own asses, and it's like, if you read Noel Monk's book, I mean, they were so dysfunctional at that point that it was fucking ridiculous.
Well, to be honest with you, and we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, but fucking Women and Children First is my favorite album by them.
No shit.
I love that album.
Dude, of all the Roth records, man, for me, it's got to be Fair Warning.
See, I liked Women and Children.
Hard to argue with that, man.
Something out, they should have put something out maybe after that tour.
there's nothing better than your dirty little mouth.
I'd buy a Gary Sharon DVD.
Dude, Van Halen's like Star Wars to me. It's everything's good. It's just a matter of how good. It's
Your Eddie Van Halen is my fucking Richie Blackmore.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Starfleet Project.
But no, I mean, to your point, it's like fans have to understand that just because you love a guy. Phil, that is perfect. That is fucking perfect, Phil. That is perfect. But I mean, just because you're a huge fan of a band doesn't mean that you have to sit there and just blindly defend what they do. It'd be like in 2004, like I saw Eddie Van Halen on that tour, and I met him, and I watched Soundcheck. Like I was 3 feet from the guy, and it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen guitar playing wise. But during the show, the guy was a goddamn disaster. He was a wreck.
Sure.
You could tell he was fucked up. He had that goofy samurai hair and all. It's like, and it's okay to admit that. Just because you're saying your favorite band has a they fuck up here and there, it doesn't mean that the band sucks. It's just people aren't perfect, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And I'm going to address this. I think we already did this on the air tonight, but whatever. I'm going to address Ernie in the chat room specifically. There's no way in hell, if you listen to the show week to week, that we do not fucking hammer on Don Dokken.
Damn straight.
Me and Neely fucking hammered that DVD. Hammered it.
Yep.
And I have said numerous times that Don is terrible live.
And,
did you see?
And we were talking. I just got that box.
Yeah.
And
it's garbage.
He doesn't sound good.
It's garbage.
One of the worst shows I ever saw.
It is, the 4.
Right.
That and you know me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
I got it. It wasn't great.
Garbage.
I mean, it's obvious he can't sing, but it's not fucking 1988 anymore.
No,
he really couldn't sing back then either.
See, and
there was an acoustic show he did at the Agora. Do you remember that show, Chris, back in the day?
Yeah, sure.
It was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen.
I mean, I am definitely a fan of their studio work, and I am no secret. I'm friends with the band. Again, no secret. I've worked with the band, but that doesn't mean that the band is awesome or whatever. I mean, I've said 100 times on the show, the last time they played Cleveland, they played 10 minutes from my fucking house. They played over at the Roxino.
Rock, yeah.
And guess who did not go? Me. Because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to sit through the show.
I
Was that because of the band or because that venue is so horrible?
Oh, I love that venue.
That's a great
dude.
I haven't been there yet.
That
sucks.
I have to side with you, Joe. There's no ambience in there. The only time it was really great for me, I've seen some great shows there, but when it was awesome for me was recently. It was in February. I went to see the G3 tour, and each of the guys did their little set, and then they had like a 45-minute jam at the end, and they just went to everybody, like, everybody come up front. Everybody mashed up front. So I was like 2 feet from the stage, and they didn't give a shit. It was so fucking cool. I mean, that was cool, but that venue has no fucking
It's like
ambience.
an Amazon shipping warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. There is no ambience in that goddamn building.
You didn't like it when we saw Slash?
No, I love the band and everything, but that room has no fucking ambience. It literally looks like a goddamn warehouse. It's like a used store, and they put a stage in there. That's what it looks like.
I don't know. I like that. I like that venue personally.
I have to disagree with you about Don Dokken, and you and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
You say he sucks live, and I now wait a minute. I get it that your definition of him sucking live is he does nothing but low notes. But for me, Phil Ooze again. I can at least respect him for the fact that at least he's the one guy that is honoring the fact that he can't hit those notes anymore, and he's not trying to do it.
Disagree with you 1,000%. I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you exactly why.
Okay.
Because you know where he's not honoring that fact? He's taking $35 a head for it.
Do you want to just quit?
Yes. If you can't do it anymore.
I just had this conversation with someone. There's a lot of bands that need to quit way
Yes.
before they actually quit.
And they should quit. If you can't perform, stop fucking taking your fans' money. Your fans have
Well, it's like the worse they get, the more they charge as time goes by. They sound worse and worse as they get in their 60s, 70s, and then the price of the tickets go up and up.
Yeah.
But you know what? This was from Don's mouth himself. This was in 1995.
Okay.
I saw them on the reunion show in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And we were outside waiting to meet him, and he signed some stuff for us. And some other guy that was standing next to me asked him, how come you didn't do, I think it was Paris Was Burning was what he asked.
Right.
And he said, and Don said, this is 20-some years ago now.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't hit those notes anymore.
Well, then
that's exactly what he said.
And that's fine back then. But right now, when you're listening to the songs, it's like, I'm the hunter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this
love.
is 20 years after that.
Should Vince Neil be able to charge more than $2 a ticket?
No, Vince Neil should be taking tickets somewhere.
Dude,
He's
should have
fucking
been done
lousy.
20 years ago.
He should be taking tickets.
Vince Neil should be charging per word he spews. Then you'd only pay about $13
Right.
a fucking ticket.
I don't know. See, to me, Don is still in pitch, and he gets guys around
He's
him to
not
hit.
still in pitch.
He is in pitch. He's doing lower notes. There's a difference between, because you're not a singer, at
He's
least
not
yet professionally.
Wait a minute. I am a
Neely's
I am
buddy.
an international superstar.
Not
Jesus
yet. You're not, you
Christ.
motherfucker.
I am working with a Finnish band now. Thank you.
Pitch means, are you able to actually hit the note as it, like the actual? Can you hit a G, an A, whatever? You're actually on key. What you're talking about is his range. His range isn't there.
How tuned down is all of their songs live now?
It's tuned to Q.
No, actually, they're not really tuned down a ton because he's not going up to hit him. He's letting his other guys do it for him. So they're not tuned down too much. He's just taking the low harmonies and a lot of stuff instead of the lead. Like, he's having his other guys do the leads. And I have to give him credit because the band still sounds good because it's not like Vince Neil trying to hit notes he can't hit. It's not like David Lee Roth still trying to do this stuff and he's not screeching and taking your money. He's at least admitting, I'm a 60-year-old dude. I can't hit the high notes, so I'm going to sing low parts for myself, but everything else around it still sounds good. I mean, I can't fault him for that. He's at least admitting his deficiencies.
Here's where I have a problem with this. He clearly can't sing the songs the way that they're supposed to be sang anymore.
See, I thought that in the 80s.
Yeah, well, but okay, but let's just say that in the 80s he was adequate. In the 80s he was adequate. Not great, but adequate.
Yeah.
C-.
Dokken was always a studio band with an incredible guitar player, in my mind.
Yeah.
In my mind, that's what
Lynch.
Dokken always was. And I'm not shitting on the rest of the band. I'm just saying that Don was always a mid-level singer, and the musicianship. Jeff Pilson was much more of a showman than he was as a player, and Mick Brown is an adequate but not exactly Mike Portnoy drummer. You know, he's not Neil Peart.
He's just a fun guy.
He's I mean, they were what they were. But when you here the problem that I have is when you actually see guys that have taken care of their craft. Dio.
Joey from Anthrax.
Anthrax.
They just put out a fucking live record yesterday, and he's nailing everything like it was 1986.
And
man,
we've seen Joey do it.
Yeah,
I mean we've
all
seen
the time.
Not all the time. The show you and I went to in Pittsburgh, he wasn't. Remember?
Well, no, now wait a minute. He was on, but that one was the first night of the tour, and he was running around like he was doing fucking calisthenics.
That was the best. We go to this show. It's Anthrax and Lamb of God. Joey Belladonna comes out. He is running his ass off.
He literally is running.
It's show number 1 of the tour.
Uh-huh.
He's running his ass off. And by the third song, he couldn't sing it.
Yeah, uh-huh.
He was so out of breath.
During my radio days and interview days, I interviewed hundreds of people. He's the only person that I told to fuck off and hung up on during an interview because he was such a
Joey, really? He's the one guy.
I was back during the State of Euphoria tour. I don't know what the deal was because I've met him after that. He was way cool. But he was just such a dick that day that I just said, fuck you, and hung up the phone.
He's not the smartest tool in the shed.
No.
That's for damn sure.
If you watch the Big Four DVD when they do Am I Evil, have you seen that?
No.
Where they have all 4 bands up there, and he's trying to sing the lyrics to Am I Evil, and he's flubbing them like crazy. And I'm like, dude, I love you, Joey, but if you know you're going to be doing something that's simulcast around the world, like it's like one of the most legendary concerts in heavy metal history, maybe learn the words.
Or at least get a teleprompter.
Right, exactly. Really? Totally, man.
I don't know. There's just, going back to what we're talking about, there's just a lot of these guys that, and Dokken to me is not the worst of the bunch.
Some people pull it off better than others.
Yeah.
And like Deep Purple, Ian Gillan did not pull it off on the last two.
Well,
and I'm a huge Purple fan, but it was really disappointing seeing him up there at age 74 or whatever, trying to hit those notes. I mean, I would have rather not seen that show and just remembered the Perfect Strangers tour, how great it was.
Right. That's why I don't have a problem with Don Dokken, because he admits he can't do it, and he is at least doing lower notes, and at least the band is still in pitch and everything.
I don't have as much of a problem with Dokken because the tickets are cheap. Because the tickets are like $30.
Okay.
He played at the grog shop.
Well, no, he played the Roxino the last time, and he sold it out.
Yeah.
They sold 3,000 tickets or whatever that is.
They do a Groupon?
Even if they did, they still put 3,000 asses in there to hear the Dream Warriors.
Well, going back to what Joe just said about Purple and the Perfect Strangers tour, I mean, that was, 12, 13 years after, like Made in Japan?
That was like 86, yeah.
Well, you listen to Child in Time, and it's funny because me and a buddy were just talking about this last night. We saw him on the Perfect Strangers tour as well, and Gillan couldn't even scream like he did just 12 years before that, or 13 years, whatever it was, when like Made in Japan was released. So,
well, I'm a huge Rush fan, and I've been watching Geddy Lee's voice go down every tour. He did the same kind of thing where he hit a lot of the low notes, and he did it pretty well. They tuned down some stuff.
Yeah.
It seems to me the screamers are the ones that the voices are going first.
Except for Dio.
But he wasn't really a screamer.
Jim's mic?
Yeah.
No, Jim has to talk in the mic. He can't go like
he already is close. Yeah, stay on the mic, buddy.
No, when he was talking to Joe, he's like,
okay.
With all the touring that Overkill has done over the years, how was Bobby Blitz's voice not showing?
I know.
Yeah, he's a maniac.
Yeah, right.
He is an absolute. And again, I keep going back to Dio. Dio with cancer growing in his goddamn gut where he couldn't even eat. I saw that last Heaven and Hell show, and he sounded as good as he did when I saw him in 1984.
But he was never a screamer.
No, but he had high range.
But he still had lots of power in his voice.
Yeah.
He still brought it on Children of the Sea the way he did when he was originally in Black Sabbath. I mean, Dio, but again, Dio, if you ever met the man took care of himself.
Speaking of Sabbath,
dude,
what do you think Ozzy's going to sound like this summer?
What, Joe?
What do you think Ozzy's going to sound like this summer?
The tour started. I just watched the video before I came over here.
Oh, I got to watch it.
Oh, my God,
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I might go see it only because I've never seen Zach live, and I want to say that I've seen Ozzy and Zach, and that's the only reason. But
why don't they have the guy singing off stage?
I have never seen Zach live.
They need to have that guy off stage that used to sing for him. Where's he at?
Yeah.
Didn't he die? Wasn't it that Scott Warren?
Sharon killed him.
I thought it wasn't that, or Nichols or whatever? Wasn't it that guy?
I don't remember who it was, to be honest.
Oh no, you know who it was? It was Robert Mason.
Was it? He was singing on stage for Ozzy?
Yeah, well, I think Robert Mason told us that story on the show.
I don't remember that.
That Mason was off stage with Ozzy singing. I believe it. After seeing Warrant a couple of weeks ago, Mason could still sing his ass off. That guy's got a great voice.
Well, there's already footage.
I saw it.
Brave Words or Blabbermouth.
I saw it. It's horrendous.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that tomorrow first.
Oh, I watched it just before I came over.
Oh, it's god awful, dude.
It's terrible.
Phil Ooze, you know who never saw Zach either? A soap.
Phil is a legend, man.
Too good, man. Holy smokes. I just saw Zach, a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was, with COC, Black Label.
Oh, okay.
I saw Black Label and COC at
they
another shit venue, that Akron Goodyear Theater. Ugh.
I don't think I've ever been there.
It's a movie theater.
It's terrible.
It's a movie theater where you can buy popcorn from a 90-year-old volunteer.
Which one? Which
the
place?
Akron Goodyear Theater.
Oh, I'm thinking of
It's. I think it's fairly new opened, isn't it?
It used to be a movie theater, and they put some money into it and fixed it up a bit. But yeah, they've only been having shows there for a couple years.
I don't know. I that was my first time going down there, and I don't know. I don't know if it was their sound guy or the sound guy for Zach, but it was so loud. And I'm not, I'm not that guy that's like, oh, it's too loud for me.
Yeah.
But it was so loud that I couldn't hear any definition in any performance.
See, I saw Yes there with John Anderson and Rick Wakeman and who's the guitar player on the 90125 stuff.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Not Howard.
It was great. I mean, the sound was great.
So maybe it was just his
probably
guys.
was, yeah.
Which, you know that on that tour, those guys come in with their own guys. They're not. I can't imagine that Zach and COC are going with house sound. I can't fathom that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so loud that it was like unbearable. It was like I watched like 2/3 of it and I was like, out. See ya. And Zach's my friend and I still walked out.
Right.
Because I was just like, nah.
I have to see Zach at some point because it's like he's one of my 4 favorite guitar. This always seems to be like a list of 4 with me, but like I've never seen Zach Wild live, and he's just so fucking cool. But it's part of what turns me off a little bit of seeing him is like you've told me that lately his shows it's just like one long guitar solo all the time, just him wanking the whole time.
It is.
And it's like I don't mind watching that stuff. I mean, I'm a Dream Theater fan, for Christ's sake. That's like everybody wanking like all the time for like 3.5 hours. But I mean, if it's a band that writes actual songs and plays that stuff, I don't need to see him just like shredding for an hour. Like I get it. Like,
I just can't handle Dream Theater anymore. I used to be a huge fan. Their last couple albums, man. Ugh. Ever since Portnoy left, I just can't handle anything that they've done.
I see. We could totally discuss that. Like, I know we won't, but
I think that last album, The Astonishing, is the biggest piece of shit.
And I love it. I love it. I fucking love The Astonishing.
Can't say nothing because I've never been a fan.
I love The
I'm
Astonishing.
astonished I made it to song 3.
Nice. Now you did hear that.
And I love them. I love Dream Theater, but that record.
I'm interested to hear the next one because they said that because they did that 25th anniversary tour with for Images and Words, that they're kind of going back to try and like they're influenced by that style, the older Dream Theater style. And that's kind of what they're writing. So it's like
Portnoy back then.
I was just going to say they're going to bring him back.
That's happening. You know that's going to happen at some point. It has to.
It needs to.
I mean,
Mangini is good, but he just doesn't have the feel and the dynamics that Portnoy has.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because people have said that to me, and I always think like, I know that like there's feel and stuff,
He's
but
like too technical.
Yeah, but it's so hard for me to like comment on that because it's like it's Dream Theater like feel and stuff, and when they're known for just like but I mean I totally agree with you. It's the sad thing is that. Like the Sons of Apollo record, Portnoy's new band, if you put that together with the last Dream Theater record before The Astonishing, like the self-titled one, if you put those 2 records together, it would be like maybe the best Dream Theater record that was ever recorded. Like it's amazing to listen to that stuff if you're into it, and you can hear where Portnoy's influence was in Dream Theater and where Petrucci's influence was. Like I don't know how you feel about that, Joe, but I mean that Sons of Apollo record, it feels like if you had John Petrucci in there writing with them, that would have been one of the most incredible like prog records ever, man.
I don't really think there's been, and this is just my own opinion, of course, I don't think there's ever been a rock guitarist in the history of rock that's better than Petrucci.
What about Mick Mars?
Richie fucking Blackmore.
Dude, it was
You
so.
know what I
Story.
Dude, I would like Blackmore a lot better if he didn't do worthless noodling for 12 minutes between every fucking song.
Well,
you
if
see,
you're-
you go.
if you're
I mean, you
talking
watch
ab-
those Rainbow. You listen to those Rainbow
Oh,
Live
I
DVDs.
know, I know. It's the
and-
same with Purple,
Dude, it's
though,
a three.
but-
It's a 3 DVD set, and an hour and a half is him just noodling in between songs.
But
Yeah,
that's
and
Richie,
it's 6
man.
tunes.
It's just.
But that's
maddening.
Richie. You know Richie. He's the gotta have. It's the main attraction.
No. I don't know. See, I've always thought he was an overblown guitarist.
I love him. Man.
I hate to say this, Jim, but
Don't
I agree.
even go there because I
agree with Aiken. I
think
just
he's
never
great,
got
but
it.
Then
I
again,
think
I'm not an Eddie Van Halen fan.
Yeah,
either, so
true.
There you go.
See,
True.
I would say Eddie Van Halen's 100 times the guitarist Blackmore
I
is.
don't even want to go there.
Dude, CeCe DeVille will give Richie a run for his money.
Oh, them's fighting words, man.
Come on. Let's not get carried. CeCe DeVille wouldn't give me a run for my money. Come on.
Dude, when you get voted in Rolling Stone as like the worst guitar solo in history, yeah, you got problems there, CeCe DeVille.
CeCe DeVille.
the live solo from their live record.
Who's the worst you've ever seen play?
Worst I've ever seen play?
Yeah.
Paul Di'Anno on Christmas Eve about 10 years ago.
I don't mean show. I just mean guitarist.
Guitar player. Wow, I'm trying to think of all the shows that I've seen.
I got to give it up to, what's his name? Is it Stephen Carpenter from the Deftones?
Oh, did those bands even
Oh.
count? Because those guys can't solo worth dick.
They were terrible. It was just like this thin, horrible
Oh.
sound. Dude, they were playing one of Mitch's World Series of Metal shows.
Holy blast from the past. God damn.
And,
Wow.
and it was like their first time in Cleveland, and they finished up some song, and it was dead silent. And me being the drunk ass that I am, I just yelled out, "Insane in the membrane!" And the fucking room lost it, and fucking Chino threw his mic down and stormed off the stage.
Man, I don't know, because all the bands that I've gone to see, like the guitar players have been really good. I mean, I haven't really seen a band that was.
I've seen a few.
The Mentors.
Come on, they're not supposed to be good.
No, I see.
they are.
Phil's got it right in the chat room. There.
Fair.
There you go. There's my answer.
I think I just won $50. I bet someone that you would bring him up in the first 15 minutes of the show.
Oh, you lost. We're already an hour
Yeah, I
15 in.
I know. Wow, it might have been Collective Soul, only because they opened for Van Halen on the Balance tour, and it was like the most. No, you know who it was?
Who?
The goddamn guitar player from Godsmack. Because I was at the relaunch, the show at the Agora that relaunched Headbangers Ball
Yeah.
2, and it was Anthrax and Godsmack because they had the old school band and the new school band. And it was one of the most egregious things I've ever seen because Anthrax was with Bush, and they just went out there and destroyed, as they always do. And then Godsmack comes out, and most boring live band I've ever seen outside of Collective Soul opening for Van Halen. Godsmack comes out, and I swear that fucking bass player for Godsmack, if you'd have given him a floor tile 2x2 and told him, if you move off of this floor tile, your entire family and everything you love will die, he'd have been like, oh, that's no big deal, because he didn't do anything. And the guitar player came out and was just boring as shit, did nothing.
Right.
And then Sully comes shuffling out in some Beatles, like Sgt. Pepper jacket.
Is that Sully Erna?
Yeah,
I
it was
saw
terrible.
him-
It was fucking terrible. And
I'm
the guitar
proud
player
to
was
say
like,
that I really pissed him off.
I
one
saw
time.
him.
well, good. Fuck Godsmack. They were horrible.
I actually met him when I don't remember the band he was in before Godsmack. They were touring and we saw him at a club in Erie.
When he was a drummer?
No, he was a singer. But I remember they gave us 8x10s and the band signed it, and all I remember him writing on there, and I still have it. It says, "Eat what you fuck, Sully." And I can't even remember the name of the band, but this was like 19. Oh fuck, I was in.
He's
Erie,
just
so
a dick.
That was in like 94, 95.
How did you piss him off, Joe?
It was at Rock on the Range.
Okay.
And one of my label rep friends called me and said, hey, there's like 4 people that were taken back to meet Godsmack. Will you come back and do some pictures with 2 people with the band, and then two pictures with 2 people each.
Okay.
I'm like, sure, dude, I'll come back. So I go back to the media tent. And the 2 people stand with the band, and I take one picture, and they start to walk away, and I'm like, hold on, let me get one more. Because I always take more than one picture. And Sully's like, Jesus Christ, dude, we don't have all day.
Oh, shut up.
I'm like, it's 2 fucking groups of people. I'm like, fuck this. And I go start putting my camera away. He flipped, started screaming, and I'm like, dude, fuck off. And I walked away, and the record company, I can't believe you talked to him like that.
Oh, shut up.
Like,
Yeah,
fuck
like,
him.
fuck off, dude.
And the 2 people that didn't get their picture taken were all pissed. Everybody was pissed.
Well, good, because that's a
remember
shit band.
Didn't he do that band Device after Godsmack?
No, that was David Draymond.
Oh, that was David
Yeah.
Draymond. That was probably the worst band I've ever seen live.
We went.
They played Gigantour, and they were at Covelli Center in Youngstown, which is an 8,000-seat venue.
Yeah.
There was maybe 500 there.
Oh, see, I went with his wife to Rock on the Range, and they were playing, and we wanted to see because we had hung out with Draymond. I know David, and he's always been nice to me.
Yeah, I met him back in the Disturbed days. And
He
was
been
really
cool.
super nice guy. I don't like Disturbed, but he was a really, really nice guy.
So we were going to go and see Device, and they had like a side stage, and Steph and I went to go over to the side stage, and it was fucking so packed that you couldn't like, you know how when there's like a big crowd, you can still kind of make your way. You can
you find those little alleys to.
Yeah, there was no hope. We could not get within 1,000 feet of the stage because I think what it was that what was on the main stage was like Bush or something that was just totally shit.
Worst fucking band ever.
And
oh my God!
So it was like Bush and Device at the same time, and it was right when the Device record came out.
Ugh.
And so
You're making me want to throw things.
Everybody wanted to see Device.
I think I still would have went to Bush.
Oh no!
Fuck that.
They were. Dude, one of my favorite memories ever, because right after that's when we left, was it's me and his wife were there, and we had a deal that each day one of us would get fucked up. But
is this the stuff like hammered stuff?
Yeah, but we wouldn't both get fucked up on the same day, so that one of us could get. Because our hotel was like 30 miles away or some shit.
It was 30 miles.
It was far.
I live 30 miles from you now, and it's a 37-minute drive.
It was
far.
far.
I don't think your hotel was 30 miles away.
Well, when you're drinking, it seems that far.
It was probably like right next door.
No,
this takes forever.
Just took his drunk ass 30 minutes to get there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, right.
Just on a side note,
Yeah.
that fucking band I was thinking of with Sully before, Jimmy James,
Strip
Mine. I saw him it was at Sherlock's in Erie.
Yeah,
That's
it's
how
terrible.
I played
band.
Sherlock's. What?
But
Fuck yeah,
But no,
I was
so-
there for 6 years.
So we're making our way. Steph got annihilated.
Yeah,
drunk.
she did.
I mean, just fucked up. And
I remember those phone calls that day. That was fun as shit.
When Bush was playing and after this Device, I was literally, I had her by her hand and I was literally dragging her around. And the only band I really wanted to see that day was Alice in Chains. It's the only band I wanted to see. And they were up after Bush. And so Steph was like, I got to sit down. So she goes under the bleachers and doesn't sit down, but lays down.
Yep.
And she's like, and I was like, what the fuck? And she's like, just go, I'll be okay. And I'm like,
That's a rape waiting to happen. I know I'm biased, but
I'm looking at Steph and I'm looking at those big juicy tits and I'm like, there's no fucking way that she comes out of this without somebody fucking hurting her.
oh yeah.
So I was like, no, I'll just leave, which I did not want to do. I really wanted to see House of Chains, but we were like,
She
whatever.
owes you for that.
So we're walking out and fucking Bush is playing.
Perfect time to walk out.
Yeah, it was a good time to walk out. But she is so fucked up. She's like staggering. And we were walking. We were like, you've been to that, whatever that Columbus Crew Stadium is or whatever it's called now. And there's like that road that separates the parking lot from the venue.
Yeah.
So we were at the end of the road. And we're walking down the road. I'm holding her by her hand.
It's a long way to stagger.
Oh my God. And
Yep.
I was pulling her back and forth like a fucking yo-yo because she kept like almost falling into the street. And I'm like snapping her back to try and keep her standing because I was like, I don't know that I can carry her, 2,000 yards to the car. I was like, she's got to make it to the car. So we somehow get to the car, and it's her car. And I get her in the car, and I'm driving, and she is completely shit-faced, damn near passed out drunk. But she still had enough sense to go, don't wreck my fucking car. Because I'm so notorious for crashing cars. She was just like, I don't care. Just don't wreck my car.
She's so funny, man.
Too fucking
How quick
fun.
was it before she threw up? Because
yeah.
dude, she's one of the. When she gets drunk, man, it's always she has to puke or else she just can't handle it, man.
She was. I guess she threw up in the bathroom, and then the place had like one of those like standing shower things.
Yeah.
We were in some really shitty Motel 6. I mean, it was fucking bad. It was not good accommodations. But she goes in and I guess she puked, and then she takes a shower. She comes out. She just fucking drops on the bed, and she's asleep.
Oh, she's done. Yeah,
Done.
Yeah.
Just completely knocked out of sleep. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go take a shower. I go walking in this fucking bathroom. There is fucking 2 inches of water on the floor because she was so fucked up. I don't think she realized to like turn the water off or something,
poor wife.
or close the door
Yeah.
on the shower. She probably just left the fucking thing open.
Poor stuff.
I go to walk in this thing. It's like, psh, psh,
Yep.
psh. I'm like, what the fuck? It was such a, and then it had one of those like, I don't know. You know how when you have those standing showers, they have like a 1-inch brick or something.
Yeah,
that's
it's like
supposed to
nothing.
keep it in.
Yeah.
Well, because it had the 1-inch brick, there was nothing I could do but let the water flow into the carpet, into the.
Yeah, you have to.
Because, there was nothing I could do without like a broom or a squeegee or something to push it
Right.
back to the drain. So, and the next morning, Steph wakes up and she's like, oh, I'm gonna take another shower or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, what happened to the floor?
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to hear about the fucking floor.
Dude, drunk Steph is amazing. She is so much fun.
Yeah, we had fun on that weekend.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
I know I'm biased, but man, she's awesome to hang out with. And boy, when she gets drunk, though, holy crap! Oh my God, some of the stuff that she does is just like you just sit back. I wish I had a video camera because she gets so silly sometimes.
Well, there's plenty of video of me and her at like 4:00 in the morning singing Debbie Gibson songs. And,
Yep, at that old apartment, man.
Or here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That was that one night. It was me, you, her, and AJ. You two were passed out on the couch, and her and I we're doing fucking. I think we're alone now. You.
If you ever want to know when my wife is drunk, all you have to do is see her doing karaoke, because if she's not drunk, I'm not singing. I can't sing. I don't know anything. But then if you see her karaoke, yeah, she's hammered.
Yeah, and then she wants me to sing with her and do fucking like embarrassing Shania Twain songs.
Of course.
She wants me to do man I feel like a woman or something, and I'll do it. I don't give a shit.
I've seen some of the video.
Oh yeah,
I
there's
don't give
a lot
shit.
of that.
It's fun, but. All right, well, we have actually rambled for an hour and a half.
Piss break.
As is wont to happen.
Exactly. So why don't we play some tunes?
And then I'll bring up my topics.
All right, that's fine. I'm going to play something that nobody's heard called Night Master.
All right.
I don't know. But it's something I know we haven't played on the show. So I'm going to play some Night Master. This is from their Cult of the Fox release. And once we do this, make sure you turn your fucking mics off.
Yep.
This one is called, I think it's called By the Sticks. So check it out. It is Night Master exclusively here. Where, John?
On your classic metal show.